My name is Marrion, and I am a Black queer man. I use he, him, his pronouns. I have light brown skin. I am wearing gold framed glasses and a collared blue t-shirt, denim shirt. Behind me is a gold mirror, some beautiful plants, a puzzle painting, and an off-white wall. I will, or I guess it's more tan. I'll be reading from my novel in progress, which is called The Promised Land. And The Promised Land follows a group of formerly enslaved Black people who escape and find themselves in a world where all Black people are free and where their white oppressors must pay for their sins. And so in this section, I will be reading into a description of the place that they enter into. Nobody knew why the town was called Honey, but to everyone who lived there, it just made sense. Everything went a little easier in Honey. There was no more back breaking unless you wanted to, and no one ever did since there was no need for reckless behavior either. Not anymore. Life was precious, and everyone who lived in Honey knew it. They had all come, well, almost all of them, from that distant, evil place that they called the other land. And why would you want to be there when you could be happy and pleasant and fed in the promised land? Yes, they all knew that this was the land that was promised to them. This much they could agree on, that they had somehow made it to that prophesied place that their parents and grandparents and ancestors had prayed for and bled for and died trying to get to. No, life was unfair in the other land. Life, for a Negro that was. It just about made you want to give up and escape any which way you could. Except you couldn't escape. You couldn't even think about it. If they caught you thinking, they knocked the thought clean out of your head with a broom or a shoe or a whip, whatever they had. They knock it on out and a little bit of your sense too, a little bit of your courage, of your special sauce, of that big or round or tiny little thing that makes you, you. That's the part that's hard for folks to deal with, knowing that they're here and free and joyful and living, while the ones they love are gone, lost, in pain and tortured just for being, just because. It's what they think about each and every day, each and every moment when they can, when they're not too busy doing, once and for all, whatever it is that they really want to do. It's true. No one knew why the town had the name that it did, but for everyone who lived in Honey, it didn't much matter. What mattered was that it was theirs. And as long as they could breathe in the sticky sweetness of the air and close their eyes while swinging in a rocking chair in the shade, that was all that they needed. And they made the most of it too, the few thousand folk who lived in this place called Honey. They weren't all on top of each other, not like they used to be. Not that they didn't want to see one another, quite the contrary. They loved seeing each other even more now than they ever had before. They loved losing themselves in their own beauty, now that they had time to bask in it, to really take note of the rich darkness of their lover's skin, or the plump roundness of someone sturdy behind. Sometimes, folks just stood there, staring at one another for minutes, simply enjoying being able to see someone else, and more importantly, to finally be seen for who they were, as they were, as they chose to be. That was the best feeling. That was one of the many things that kept them happy while they explored who they wanted to become now that they were all finally free. Thank you.